Three Questions, written by Leo Tolstoy. But before reading the chapter, let us know about the author. So, the author is Leo Tolstoy. He was a Russian author and famous for his novels and short stories. He belongs to Russia and he is called to be a master of realistic fiction. Fiction means novel, so whatever work he has written is called realistic, and one of the world's greatest novelists he is considered. And in addition to giving pleasure, he hoped that his stories would make readers think about how they should live their lives. So, this is the main thing in his style, that his work would give pleasure, happiness to us. And in addition to that happiness, in addition to that pleasure, he hoped, he wanted that by reading his stories, the readers or we think about how uh, we should live our lives. So, this will be told in the chapter because we are told how we should live happily in this world. What is the theme of the chapter? The theme of the chapter is importance of wisdom and knowledge. He also tells about the importance of present time. This is the important thing that he mentioned, that we should live in present only. And he also wants to show us the importance of human values. So, importance of showing human values, that is also the theme of the chapter. Now let us consider what the chapter is about and what is there in this chapter. In this chapter, we'll come across a king who wanted to know the answers of three questions so that he would never fail. So, in the mind of a king, three questions came, and he thought that if he knew though the answers of these three questions, he would never fail, he would always be victorious if he knew the answers of these of those questions. Many people tried their best but couldn't satisfy with their answers. So, as it was the king and he decided to get the answers by so many people, and so many people tried to give answer, but the king was not satisfied with the answers of those people. Then the king decided to visit a hermit because he could not find the answers from all those people. So what he decided that he would go to a hermit. A hermit is a holy person, a sage and a holy person, a hermit. So he decided to go to a hermit uh, who was known for his wisdom. So the hermit was digging the ground. The king decided to help him. So when the king reached to the hermit, so he was digging the ground. He was making a hole. He was just pulling out soil from the earth, digging the ground. The king decided to help him. The king decided to help him with the work. So he started to work, and then what happened, when the king was doing his work, the king saw that a wounded man, an injured man, a man who was bleeding, and he was coming, he was hurt, and he was coming running towards the king. The king helped that person, and he saved the life of that man. The man was the king's enemy, and later on, the king came to know that the man was the enemy of the king, whom the king helped, and came there, and the person came there to kill the king. And what the king did? And the king helped that person. So, the person, he was touched, he was impressed by the magnanimity, large heartedness. He saw that how large the king's heart was. He decided to serve him for his life. So, a person who had come there to kill the king, and after meeting the king, when the king saved his life, the person changed completely, and he now decided to serve him until he lives. He decided to be a servant of that king because the king was showing his magnanimity, large heartedness. The king came to know the answers, and later on, we will know that the king has got the answers of his questions, and the story ends with the king satisfied with the answers. So ultimately, he got the answers. So the chapter is about a king. A king has three questions, it is told to you, and he is seeking. Seeking means trying to find. He was trying to find the answers of those questions. So what are the questions? Does the king get what he wants? So we will read in this chapter. So part first, the thought came to a certain. Certain means some, S-O-M-E. So a thought came to some king that he would never fail. He would always win if he knew three things. Three things were. So what the three questions there that came to the mind of that king? The questions were: first one, what is the right time to begin something? Okay, what should be the exact and right time to begin anything, to begin a thing? So that was first question. Which people should he listen to? And the second, which people is there that he should have the advice of? And by taking the advice of those persons, he will succeed. So he wanted to know those persons. And the third question was, what is the most important thing for him to do? And what is the most important thing for the king to do? So if the king thinks that if he came to know the answers of all these questions, because it is quite true that if we know the timing of of a thing to happen, if you know the right person for us, if we know the important thing that we are to do, or that is good for us, so if we know all these things, so it is quite certain that we will succeed in our life. But it is not possible to know all those things because we do not know the future. The king therefore so the king sent messengers throughout his kingdom. He sent his messengers promising large sum of money. Some large amount of money, some means amount of money, to anyone who would answer these three questions. So he sent his man, the king sent his man in the villages in his kingdom to find someone who should know the answer of those questions, and he would reward him large sum of money. So the king promised that anyone who is going to tell the answer or answers of these three questions, he would give those persons reward or money, prizes. Many wise men came, many intelligent men from that kingdom came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. In reply to the first question, some means some people, some wise men said the king must prepare a timetable. That's why he would know the exact timing of doing anything and then follow it strictly. So first solution was to make a timetable. Only in this way, they said, could he do everything and its proper time. So we all know that if we make timetables, so everything will be done properly. So first suggestion was making a timetable. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. And the first suggestion was making a timetable, but other persons objected this solution because we do not know what we are to do in future and what is going to happen in our future, so we cannot make the timetable in advance. So first solution, the first point that was told or suggested, it was rejected. The king should notice all that was going on, avoid foolish pleasures, and always do whatever seemed necessary at that time. So the next thing told to the king, that the king should notice all that was going on. Okay, so he should notice whatever was happening around him at a particular time, going on happening around him. Avoid, and he should avoid means overlook. He should overlook foolish pleasures. He should not spend time in entertainment and always do whatever seemed necessary at that time. So the other suggestion was just not to spend time in pleasures. Okay, always notice what he is going to do, and always have in mind uh, what seemed necessary at a particular time. So this was the second suggestion, that he should be alert in whatever he is doing in his life. So by that method, he would know what is to do and what is the right time to do something. Yet others, so that was the second. Yet others said that the king needed a council, group of advisors, we can say. So other persons, they said that the king needed a council, a wise man, that some intelligent man should have been there with king, so that the king should get advice from all those person, and he came to know the right time of doing something. So, that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. This was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly. And why the suggestion came that a council is there? Because one man cannot decide what is to do. So, it is better that so many wise person combinedly they just come to a conclusion, so that would be an effective way. So that's why it is also suggested that a council of wise men should be there, because it is not possible to decide correctly by a single man without help from others, the right time for every action. So these were the suggestions by all those wise men about the first question. But then others said that there were some things which could be urgent. These things could not wait for the decision of the council. What objection is there of that? The objection is that some things are to be done immediately, so these things could not wait for the decision of the council. We cannot wait for the decision of all those members of councils, that they would come, they would meet, they would decide, and then the thing to be implemented. It cannot happen. Why? Because the thing is very much urgent. In order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future. Okay, so someone said that in order to decide the right time for doing something, we should have the knowledge of future. It is necessary to look into the future. Only then we will be able to know what is the right time to do something. And only magicians could do that. What could magicians do? Only magicians could necessarily look into the future. Only magicians could look into the future, and that's why the king was suggested that he should go to the magicians. So this was the first question, and these were the suggestions and the positions of the contradictions of those suggestions. Now, in the answer to second question, now it comes to the matter of second question, and when the answer of second question came, they were also different. Some said that the people most necessary to the king were the counselors. Some said that counselors are important because they give good counsels, they give good advice to the king to do things. But others said that the priests are important. The priests are those persons who are very much important for the king, or most important for the king. Priests, one worships God, worships in temple. Uh, a few other chose the doctors, and a few other persons, they gave suggestion that their choice was the doctors. They gave suggestion that the doctors are necessary, or the doctors are important for king. And yet others said that his soldiers, because they protect his nation, his kingdom, that's why soldiers are necessary, were the most necessary. So to the answer of the question, the second one, so these suggestions were there: counselors, or priests, or doctors, or soldiers are necessary for the king. So the second question. And the third one, to the third question, some said science. Some said that he should have the knowledge of science. Others chose fighting. The other person said that the fighting is the thing, because by fighting, or by using arms, he could keep his kingdom intact. And yet others said the religious worship is the thing that is good for the king to do. So the third question, the answers of third questions, the question were also varied. As the answers to his questions were so different, so many answers were there, the king was not satisfied. The king was not content. He was not satisfied. That's why he did not give reward to anyone. Instead, in place of giving reward to anyone, he decided to seek to try to find. He decided to find the advice of a certain hermit, because he had got the knowledge of some hermit. Certain means some. hermit. He knew about a hermit. Hermit is a person who lives alone and leads a simple life, worshipping God. So hermit, a sage, S-A-G-E, who was widely known for his wisdom. So there was a sage who was known for his wisdom in the kingdom, and the king decided to go to that sage. And why did he want to go to that sage? In order to have the answers of all those questions. The hermit or the sage, he lived in a wood forest. He would live in a forest which he never left, and he always remained there. He did not leave that forest. He saw no one. So means meet here. So means meet. He would meet no one but except simple people. So whom did that hermit meet? The hermit met only simple people, not very rich. And so the king put an ordinary clothes, put on wore, W-O-R-E, second form of wear. So the king had to put on ordinary clothes. Why did the king put on ordinary clothes? Because he wanted to see the hermit, and the hermit only met simple people. That's why the king had the guise of a simple person. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse, and the king also had to leave the horse there because he could not go with the horse to that hermit with his bodyguard. So he kept his bodyguard somewhere far from the hermit's cottage, and he left his horse there with that bodyguard and went on alone and continued to go to the hermit all alone. So he's now going to that hermit. As the king came near the hermit's hut, when he came near the hut of the hermit, he saw the hermit. And what hermit was doing? Hermit was digging the ground. He was uprooting the soil. He was taking out the soil with a tool. So he was digging the ground in front of his hut. So what the hermit was doing? He was digging. He greeted the king. When he met the king, he saw the king, so he greeted, welcomed. He welcomed the king. The hermit welcomed the king and continued digging. And he did not say any other thing. He just welcomed him. He greeted him only. The hermit was old, he was weak, and as he worked, and because he was doing work, he was breathing heavily. Okay, he was out of breath. And why was he out of breath? Why was he breathing heavily? Because he was first thing, he was very old and weak, and the second thing, he was working at that time. The king went up to the hermit. He reached to the hermit, and what the king said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer three questions. How can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? What are the people I need most? And what affairs? Affairs means what works, what business, what matter. So what works are the most important. So he just reached to the hermit, and he asked the same three questions to the hermit. The hermit listened to the king. He heard only what he said, but he did not speak. The hermit went on, continued. He continued doing work, that was digging. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work in your place. And now the king, he just suggested the hermit that because he was tired, the hermit might be exhausted, and that's why the king asked him to allow me. Let me means to allow the king. The king asked the hermit that hermit should allow the king to take the spade, the tool that he was digging the land with, and work in your place. So the king suggested to work in place of the hermit. Thanks, said hermit, giving the king his spade. Then he sat down on the ground. So what hermit did? Hermit thanked the king, and he gave the spade to the king. And now the king started working for hermit. When the king had dug two beds, he stopped and repeated his question. Again and again he was asking the question. So after digging two beds, stretch of land, piece of land, a small patch, patch of land, a small patch of land. So beds are there, small patches of land, two patches of land he had dug, and then he stopped and he repeated the same question. The hermit gave no answer as he had done before, but he only stood up there, stretching out his hand, stretching out, pulling out, spreading out. He was just spreading out his hand for the spade and said, "Now you rest and let me work." Okay, because the king had dug two beds, okay, two small patches of land, patches of ground he had dug. That's why the hermit told the king that he might have some rest, and now he wanted to dig the ground. But the king did not give him spade and continued to dig. But the king continued to do the work. 1 hour passed, the king continued to do the work. Then another hour passed, the sun went down. Now it was getting evening. The sun was going down. The sun went down. The sun set behind the trees. It was getting evening, and at last the king put the spade into the ground and said, because he was tired, and the other thing, he was irritated also because the hermit was not giving the answer. Okay, the hermit had not given the answer of those questions, and the king had been doing work for so many hours. That's why he was tired and he was exhausted, and he was somewhat irritated. "I came to you, wise man, for an answer to my question." And then, in that tone, he said to the hermit that he wanted to know the answers of those questions. "If you can give me no answer, tell me so, and I will return home." And he also said to the hermit, if the hermit is not going to give answer, then the king will go from there without saying anything. "Here comes someone running," said the hermit. But hermit did not give the answer. On the contrary, what he said that someone was coming running towards them. Okay, so it was the end of that first section. And what have we have read in first section, that the king wanted to know the answers of three questions, and so many people gave the answers. The king was not satisfied with any one of that. He went to the hermit. The hermit, though the king had done work for him, did not give the answer yet. And they saw that a person was coming towards them running. The king turned round, and he saw a bearded, having beard, hair on the cheek, beard. So a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed. His hand, the person who was running towards them, his hands were pressed. He was holding his hands against his stomach, or his hands were onto his stomach, from which blood was flowing. It means the man who was running towards them, he was injured, he was wounded. Blood is coming out, okay, from his body. When he reached the king, he fainted, got swooned, he got unconscious. The person, when he reached the king, the person got unconscious and fell to the ground. The person fell onto the ground. The king and the hermit, because the person was injured, so the king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound, injury, okay, bruise. So a large wound was there, a large injury was there in his stomach. They saw when they just removed the clothes of that person. The king washed and covered it. The king was dressing him. He washed that wound and he covered that wound with his handkerchief. Uh, but the blood would not stop flowing, but the blood coming or letting out. The king redressed it, so bandaged it again, dressed it again. Okay, the wound until at last the bleeding stopped, and ultimately the bleeding stopped. So the person came, he was injured, and the king dressed it. He cleaned that wound, and then he just tied a cloth around that wound, but the it was not working. Then he just put another cloth onto that wound, so ultimately the blood stopped leaking out. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. And now the man who might be now conscious, he felt better. Now he was feeling good and he asked something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. And who gave water to that person? It was the king himself. Okay, it means the king was serving that person. By this time the sun had set. The sun had set means now it has become dark. Okay, the night had fallen and the air was cool. There was chill in the air. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded, injured man into the hut and laid him on the bed. So now that person, he was taken into the hut of that hermit, and now he was taking rest. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. Okay, he fell asleep, lay quiet. He lay there and he was silent. The king tired. The king was very tired. And why was he tired? First thing that he walked to the hut of hermit because he had left that horse somewhere there far from the hut and the work he had done. So the king was tired because of excessive walking and also working. Lay down, he also lay down there on the floor, and as soon as he lay down there, he slept through the night. So he slept there and all through the night he remained there. It means that he had to spend the night in the hut of that hermit. So when the hermit awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember. When he awoke, he suddenly, as he woke up, he did not remember where he was. But before he could think anything, before he could remember where he was, or who the strange bearded man lying onto the bed was. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice. So the king woke up and he could not say anything. He could not realize where he was and what was happening there. Suddenly, the bearded man, he just spoke in a very weak voice because he was really weak. He was injured. So he said sorry. "Forgive me." He apologized. He apologized the king when he saw that the king was awake. When the injured man saw that that the king was awake, so he said something to the king, and what he said, he just apologized him. He said sorry to him. "I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you," said the king. So the king said, because the king had not seen that person, so the person need not seek forgiveness. The person need not say sorry to the king. What he is to forgive, because the king has not known that person. "You do not know me." Now, what the injured man said, that "You do not know me, but I know you." The injured man said that the king did not know him, but the injured man knew the king very well. "I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you." So what the injured man said, that he was an enemy. Okay, he was an enemy to the king, and he was that enemy who swore. He took the oath. He decided to avenge. He decided to avenge or to revenge on you, uh, because you put my brother to death and seized my property. So why did that injured man come? The injured man come to take revenge on the king. And why did he want to take revenge? The injured man wanted to take revenge because the king had put the injured man's brother to death. So the king had killed the injured man's brother and seized and took hold of his property. Seized, took by force. So he had taken the property of that injured man. That's why he wanted to kill the king and he had come to kill the king. "I knew you had gone alone." And the injured man, how he came there? The injured man knew that the king was going alone to see the hermit, to meet the hermit. He knew that thing. And I made up my mind. Made up my mind means that he had decided. He had decided to kill you on the way home. That's why he knew that the king had gone there alone and he would come alone from there. And he wanted to kill the king when he would return. But the day passed, the day had spent, and you did not return, and the king did not go. Why did not go? Because the king was tired. He wanted to know the answer of that of the question. That's why he remained there to the hermit. So I left my hiding place. So when the king did not go back, the injured man, the man, he just left his hiding place where he was hiding. He came out from his hiding place, and I came upon your bodyguard. And when he was wandering here and there, the bodyguard that the king left somewhere, the bodyguard saw him, came upon, met. He met the bodyguard of the king, and the bodyguard recognized him. The bodyguard recognized that person, and the bodyguard of the king injured that man. Okay, so who injured that man? The bodyguard of the king. I escaped from him. So how he escaped from that bodyguard, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wound. But he could have died. How he was saved? He was saved by the king, because the king had dressed his wounds. The king had dressed his bruises. That's how he was alive there. I wish to kill you. And what he say? So he's really very sad and sorrowful. Why is the injured man sad? Because the injured man, he wanted to kill the king. I wish to kill you. I wanted to kill you. You refers to the king, and you have saved my life. And on the contrary, the king had saved the life of that enemy of his, though the king did not know him. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant. Now, the injured man, he is willing to serve the king throughout his life. If I live, throughout his life, the injured man would like to serve the king. And we should remember that he's the same person who wanted to kill the king, and now he wanted to be the servant of the king. Why? Because he saw the generosity, the kindness of the king, and will order my sons to do the same. And the injured man will also order his sons to do the same. To do the same means to serve the king until they live. Forgive me. And then he asked forgiveness of the king. The king was very happy to have made peace with the enemy so easily. Now the king was happy. Why was he happy? He was happy because he knew that the person was his enemy, and now he had made peace with his enemy. And that was so easily. He had not to quarrel. He had not to raise a war against him. And he had made peace with his enemy. So that was a good thing. And the king was happy for that. And to have won him over as a friend. And he had won him is his enemy. He has won him over as a friend. So he had turned his enemy into his friend, and that was really a great thing for a king to do, that without fighting he had made his enemy his friend. He not only forgave him, but said the king forgave him. It was quite natural that he would forgive, so he had forgiven him, but and he also said that he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him. The king was really a very large hearted person. So the king not only saved his life, he just forgave him. He also sent his servants and his own doctor to take care of, to look after, to take care of that enemy, of that injured person. And he promised, and king also, the king also promised to give back the man his property, that the property that the king had taken, grabbed, the king will give the property back to that person. So we can see that what change has taken place there. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. So he just came out of that, the king came out of that hut, and now he was looking for the hermit. Why was he looking for the hermit? Because he wanted to know the answers. Before going away, He wished once more to get answers to his questions. So why did he want to meet the hermit? Because he wanted to know the answers of those questions before leaving. The hermit was on his knees. He was sitting on his knees sowing seeds because last night they had dug the whole ground in the beds that had been dug the day before. Last day, the previous day, the whole ground was dug, so he was sowing seeds there. The king went to him, and said, and what did the king say? For the last time, I beg, I request you. The king requested the hermit to answer his questions. So the king went to the hermit and asked for the last time the answers. You have already been answered, said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood before him. So the hermit answered, and what was his answer? That you have already been answered. The hermit said that the king had got the answer earlier. Said the hermit, he was bending still, he was just sitting on his knees down to the ground and looking up to the king as he stood before him. The king was standing before the hermit and he was looking at the king. How have I been answered? The king did not understand what he meant, because he did not give the answer. That's why he asked the question mark. He asked the question, how was the answer given? What do you mean? Do you not see? Replied the hermit. Now the hermit was giving the answer that the king could see, could understand. If you had not s- show mercy, pitied. If you had not showed shown mercy, my weakness yesterday, and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. So how the king was saved? The king was saved because he had pitied the weakness, because the hermit was very weak and old. That's why the king took the spade out of his hands. So yesterday he pitied the hermit, and he had dug the beds for him. If he had not done this, he would have gone away, and then that man would have attacked you, because the enemy, the injured man, he was hiding there somewhere to kill the king. And if the king went away without showing pity onto the hermit, so the king would have gone away, and he would have been killed by that enemy. So would have gone away, then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. And if the man attacked him, so the king would have thought that he should have remained there with the hermit. So the most important time, so the thing that the king should have understood by now, and the answer the hermit gives, what is the most important time? The most important time was when you were digging the bed. That was the most important time, and I was the most important man. And at that time the most important man was the hermit, because he had pitied the hermit. And to do me good was your most important business. And what is the most important business? Doing good to that hermit. So though he had given example, he had not instantly gave the answers. He had given the only examples of how he could know about all those things, the answers afterwards, when the man ran to us. So that was the first example of all those questions. And the second example, afterward, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. So the king cared for him. He just dressed and redressed his wounds. So that was the most important time, because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died. That's why it was the most important time, without having made peace with you. And he could not have made peace. If he died, he could not have made peace. So he was the most important man. And the most important man was that time when he was redressing the person. And what you did for him was your most important business. And what was the most important business? What he did for that hermit. So that was the most important business. So this was the second example. Second example of those questions answers. Remember then. So now the real answers he was giving. There is only one time that is important. So what Oh, so which time is important? The most important, the time is now. That's why in the introduction we came to know that it is about the present. The importance of present is being told here. So what is the most important time? Now is the most important time, because now is the thing that we have got. We do not have past to us, we do not have future to us, we have only present to us in our hands. That's why what is the most important time? It is present. It's the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act, because we can act only in present. We cannot act in our past, we cannot act in our future. So we can act only in present. So the most important time to do any action is the present time. And the second thing, the most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment. When you are with a person, no matter what time it is, anytime you are with a person, at that time that person is important for you. So the most necessary person, the most important, the most necessary person is the person that you are with at a special time, at a particular moment, at a particular time. You are with the man, that man is important for you, that man is necessary for you. For no one knows what will happen in the future, no one knows what will happen in the future, what whom we are going to meet, whether that person is to meet us in the future or not. So no one knows. That's why the most important person is the man who is in front of us at a particular time, and whether we will meet anyone else. The most important business, so what is the most important work to do, is to do the person good. Okay, so what is the most important thing to do? It is doing good to human beings. Okay, doing good, doing kindness to human beings, because we were sent into this world for that purpose all alone. So why are we sent in this world? The god had sent us just for one purpose, just for one motto. So what thing is that? It is just to do good to others. That's why we have been sent there. So overall it was really a very good chapter, though longer one, having two parts, but it teaches us a lot of things. Okay, it teaches us that we should remain in the present, and uh, we should consider a person important, whoever is with us. So the last thing that is taught to us, that we should do good to others as well. So uh, good poem, thought provoking poem, good chapter it is, I think. The most important thing, or we can say the theme of the chapter is, because we have discussed the chapter thoroughly, and I hope you have understood well the word meanings and the chapter. So what is the theme of the chapter? It is the importance of wisdom, as the theme also have been discussed earlier, and content is also discussed. So at last we have got moral. So what is the moral? What is the value point here? The author wanted us to know the value and importance of helping others. Okay, and that has been told to us, that it was really good to help that person. If he had not helped the sage, the hermit, if the king had not helped the injured man, he would not have been as he was there. So he would have been dead if he had not helped the hermit. Okay, he would move back, and the enemy who was hiding there, he would have killed him. And the second thing, he helped that enemy in dressing his wounds. So that also was a good act, and the enemy had been a servant to that person. He had peace with him. And the second thing, he wanted us to realize the importance of present time, because present is the thing that we have got to us. And the other thing that the poet want to show us, that the kindness and humanity is the only thing that we are here to do. Okay, so ultimately we can say that with this note, that we should help others, we should remain in present only. uh, the writer is giving a good message to us. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you have understood the chapter well, and now you will be able to give the answers of all those questions, maybe internal or at the back of the chapter. Thank you. Until the next video.